series, we've had 22, 23 workshops so far this year, and they fall into a couple of several different types. All of them take a very practical approach, overview, hands-on, something you can use as soon as you leave. And this tool, this growth wheel, is a tool that we use that allows us to tailor it to the individual company, but it really has application to everybody. So that's why we've converted it into a workshop. And what it does is take running a business and break it into 4 quadrants around the concept, the customer, the operations, and the organization. And then within each of those quadrants are focus areas. And then underneath of it are a lot of tools and resources to help. So the growth wheel tool is around helping you focus. It's around setting an agenda, making decisions, and taking action. So these workshops are set up that will cover an overview of a particular topic. And today's topic is business processes. We'll work through a couple of worksheets to get you practicing on the technique or the concept that we're talking about. And the goal is that you would then set up a 30, 60, 90-day plan on either completing what we start here or other things that may be priorities. So we're talking about processes, and we'll focus on one particular one that might be relevant to you. It really applies to everything. Today really is a process about thought process and approaching everything that you do in your business with the idea that does it provide value to the customer? You know, how does it, in whatever it is we're doing, what's the value to the customer? And if it doesn't, you shouldn't be doing it. And when you start to develop that idea, it changes a lot of things. And so you want to create in your whole organization, as you get bigger, the mindset of, why am I doing this? Which leads to the next one, is you always want to figure out how to do it faster, better, or cheaper. And so you're either selling faster or you're improving your operations to do it faster or cheaper in a way that enables you to become more successful. You'll hear it in corporate where they talk about process improvement and continuous process improvement. So today we're going to look at some of the overview of tasks in the business. We're going to talk about what activities actually create value for the customer. Why are we doing it? A couple of ways to start to detail and document the procedures. You do gain a competitive edge when you do that by having a systematic approach to improve processes, eliminate inefficiencies and waste and that sort of thing. The challenge becomes, much like we just talked about, what are the emotional barriers, and we'll talk about those in a few minutes. But the idea is if it's something you're doing every on a regular basis, it becomes a lot easier to do it. And then when you add the component, how do I improve it? When it relates to your business, you almost make a game of it. You can incorporate all of that. And the second is that the approach you should take is, where is your pain point? So if your pain point is always having to train somebody and you never have enough time to do that, it made it easier for you to do that and really made it better for the organization. But the concept is the same, really simple. The devil's in the details. It gets complex real quick, but ultimately that's what you're always thinking about, and that leads to that faster, better, cheaper. If you're doing something over and over and over again, you can leverage your time by writing it down. It takes you more of an investment in the beginning, but if it saves you a half a day of sitting down, everybody figuring out where they're going, over the next 10 times you do that same process, you've leveraged that time. You invested that 2 days or whatever it is to write the process by saving a half a day every time. So it's understanding where it fits into the whole organization and your outcomes. What you're trying to achieve out of this is your descriptions of the process are so good that they can act as guidelines. So either when you're teaching somebody or turning it over to them afterwards, you know, it's clear to whoever looks at it what it is you're doing,
Well, I
why
really
you're doing
think,
it.
I'm trying to think, I really only have 3 business processes, which is, you know, getting the funding, managing the programs, and then tracking the results. And then that goes back around because the grants want the results.
Yep.
So those are the only 3 major processes that I can think of. And then, of course, there's sub-processes within those.
Yeah,
And then the supporting processes would be, I guess, you know, accounting, you know, office
yep.
management.
Your
quality
approach
management.
is, you know, this whole pyramid idea. So that, you know, what you're saying is that you think you have 3, you know, those 3.
Right.
When you look at that chart, you say, well, I gotta have more than 3. And you really do, because I think what you have are, for each one of those, so if this is for funding, you had initially listed 3 or 4 things. You know, those would be the sub-processes here. And then each of those sub-processes, whether you want to call them processes or not, you know, the tasks would be for each one of those. So you're going down deeper as you're thinking through. And so the end-to-end piece is, you know,
It's all on the basis of
listing
trying
all
to
that.
take care of their own customers.
yeah, but that's part of your message to them.
Right.
But in terms of the process, you know, if you were putting that into the industry value chain, you're getting out in front of when they need the service. You know, this is designed to put it in context for yourself. All of this is not homework that you turn into anybody, so you want to be honest with yourself of how long it's going to take. You say, you know, I am just, you know, just smoked for the next month. It's not going to happen till next month. That's okay, maybe, but you're the one who's going to answer that. And so I just keep getting back to this whole concept that when you have it on paper and you're looking at it, you say, oh my gosh, I got to have it done sooner than that. The good thing to keep in perspective is that no matter how hard you work, how many hours you work, you'll never get it all done anyway. And for the most part, nothing is so critical that if you don't get it done, the world's going to end tomorrow. So once you have that kind of a context, you take your breath, have your drink, and move forward. So.